So see, people who are in silent mode, who are not in visible, you can come into visible mode. So I know that you are there. You have some questions today. Okay, first, good wishes for the people who are getting to the exam pretty closer. It's 1 week again. Last Sunday we met. One more Sunday has gone. First, listen to the people who have exam. Anyone here close to the exam? 2 weeks, 1 week.
Hi, Shri. I have my exam on 26th June. That is 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Monday.
Okay. Okay. So how many days we have right now? 14.
14, yeah, 14 days, 15 days.
Okay. So now, how is your preparation?
Yeah, my scores are consistent, but still I'm not happy. I thought this mock scores will little increase, but again, maybe I'm doing the same mistake, or I need to revisit some concepts.
Okay. Okay. So concept-wise is good. How many full exams you have taken so far?
4 I have already took.
4 you did.
Yeah.
2 weeks you will do one more full exam, right?
Yeah.
Which one is the highest score for you?
Third mock.
Third was the highest one.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So you found any gap specifically?
Maybe Agile only, and some point I observed is the question reading ability, as you always mention. Maybe in a hurry, I'm not reading the question properly. Like they're mentioning, for example, all of the following are correct except they're asking. So I'm looking for correct answer. So except I'm reading there. Maybe that thing. And which is not the tool or technique. Those things maybe I'm lacking there.
So when there is something like which does not exist, is not the right one, kind of questions you are missing.
Yes.
Okay. And is it something because of that words, or a concept itself is not clear for you?
Concept is fine. Maybe most of the things I'm getting that in the like 130 to 150 questions. So by that time I'll be exhausted. And question, if it is lengthy question, that also the first 2-3 lines, whatever I read, I used to forget that only. By the end, I reached the next question. So that was difficult. And Agile, maybe in some points I'm lacking there. So I need to revisit Agile also once.
Okay. All right. So overall, how is your confidence towards the exam right now?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks back I was not that confident. Maybe now I think, yeah, I can go ahead and I can.
Okay.
I can take it.
Okay. So you are confident on that area.
Yeah.
So now this exam, until you go to the exam hall, the confidence level will be very low.
Yeah.
After completing the exam, you'll feel that, oh, okay, I did it. It's good. And once a person completes the exam, come out and say that, guys, don't spend too much of time. Go ahead and write the exam.
Yeah.
This is the usual conversation we hear, which means that the way we are looking at the exam is not that. It is little lower, tougher than what we think. However, preparation is needed. So what you have is a good preparation. I would expect little polishing. I believe this morning I would have messaged you, or yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Look out that and tune a little bit, because maybe 5-6% of answers we are missing.
Yeah.
It is not because of lack of knowledge. Knowledge is there, but maybe we are a little tired while answering the questions.
Yes.
Or sometimes we misjudge. If we can do a little correction on that, we can improve. At the same time, the main exam intensity is a little lesser than ShriLearning. So if you get a better mark here, about 63, 68, 70, it's a good thing to clear the main exam.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, good. That's good to know. And that's good, Lata. Thanks a lot. And stay in touch. Keep me posted on your next full exam.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Great. That is Lata. Who else have exam closer?
Me, Shri. Just, I think, on Tuesday. Yeah.
Sandra, you're good. One more day?
Yes,
Tomorrow?
one more day. That's tomorrow. And then Tuesday. I just went yesterday to look at the center and if the roads are, if there's any road closure on the way. Unfortunately, the test center was closed. They're closed on Saturdays, Sundays, I heard. So I couldn't go in and check, but then at least I know where the center is located and when I'm supposed to report.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay. Okay. So all good there at the side?
yes, all good. Right now, I the points that you gave, and I think what I needed was a revision. So before taking the revision, I was panicking a little bit. But the minute I started doing the revision, and I'm like, I know this, I know this, I know this, I can handle this, I can do this. So I think the minute I started revising on the topics, I started getting familiar with what I studied. So now I think I can do fairly well unless the exam is going to be really tough. That's the if I'm not going to make it, it's because maybe the exam was really tough. But at least I know from my end, the preparation wise, I've put in my hard work. So I hope the exam
Okay.
paper will
No
do
worries.
justice.
One thing I have realized in ShriLearning practice, people do, I have not seen people failing, which
Okay.
means it is not the question paper, it is a mindset what you get ready.
Okay.
We have sit for hours in classes. That is a good observation with some motivation. And then you have spent time in books, very good amount of time. That is stage 2. Stage 3 is you practice small tests like 10 questions, 40 questions, weekly tests, this kind of Q&A. And stage 4 is you did full exams.
Yes.
Okay. So 4 stages you have crossed. Now the 5th stage is your gut feel.
Yes.
What I mean by gut feel is now you feel, okay, let me jump. And that is a place many people think few times because it involves money, time, and your prestige or your value. This is the first time you are giving a competitive exam when you are with your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or someone, right? So you don't want to fail in front of them.
True.
When you are at the age of 15, you are happy. Even if you fail, it's okay. But when you come to this stage, you feel that I should not.
Yeah.
That freezes many people not to do. But the stages, what I said, 4 stages, and the 5th stage it comes, by this time, the content would have gone to your subconscious mind. By subconscious mind, what I mean is, you can do not without heavy strain. So the preparation, what it is sufficient enough to clear the exam. However, only thing is, last few days of the exam, you will stay focused attentively, how to read a question carefully, how to apply elimination technique, how to not get panic with the time management. Because many people get little panic on the time management. Actually, time will be very much sufficient, but our brain won't keep quiet. It will keep on searching for, oh my God, already 30 minutes gone, 40 minutes gone. That pressure will be always there. It's an unwanted pressure, I would say. PMI has set a question paper, which can be done in 3 to 3.5 hours. Last week, there is a woman from Newark, I believe. She completed the exam in 2 hours.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, of course, she was in a pressure. She has to get to a flight for some reason, family reason. She has to fly. I don't think she's in the call today. And she cleared the exam in 2 hours. And somebody can clear in the 2 hours. That is too fast. I would say, okay, 3.5 is sufficient time. Because of English language, it takes a little time for us. So 4 hours is more than enough to clear the exam. Yeah. So Sandra, you are all good. Did I mention that we will contact before the exam?
Yes. Tomorrow, you said we will connect tomorrow.
We will connect, right? Tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, fine. Tomorrow, just give me a message. We'll connect over the call.
Sure.
I hope you are sleeping on time. Food is going good on time.
Yes, actually, I think I spoke to you before. So until that night, I just couldn't sleep. I think I had insomnia issues. I would go to bed at 12. I'd wake up at 2 a.m. I'll sit with my laptop and again. So I just couldn't sleep. And honestly, not because I want to do it deliberately, but then the tension was that high at that point of time. But when I spoke to you for some time and you told me the focus points, what I should be looking at, I really felt good. So I was happy that not just as a teacher you were there, but also as a guidance or for any mentorship that I needed, you were there and I could just text you and you were there around. So thanks a lot for that, Shri.
Good to know. Good to know. Now, why I ask a food and thing is usually people get to the last few days, they could not focus more on food. They could not focus on sleep. Even though we know it is not that crucial exam, still that pressure will be there. Routine will get spoiled. They don't do exercise. They don't talk phone call to anyone. Even the parents call, they'll cut the call. I'll talk later. Okay. So I would, yeah, it happens, right? Even the husband or wife come and talk to you, you will be jumping on them. Keep quiet, I'm reading.
Correct. Yeah.
Actually, not needed. You have to be relaxed. What I mean by relaxed is, this is also testing your interpersonal skills. The way you handle your exam is your management skill. It's not clearing a certificate and telling that I'm great. How you handle the exam itself is your management skill.
Right.
Out of pressure, how you are. I believe if we are from India, I'm sure we are all watching this cricket match going on.
Yeah.
In a pressured situation, how some person can stay composed. Yeah. A composed mind does a wonderful job than a brilliant mind.
Agree, Shri.
Right?
Because every other time when I took a mock test or full exam, I was always under pressure. After speaking to you, then I took my just a weekly exam. I did not have the time for a full exam, but I thought, okay, let me do a weekly exam, but let me approach the questions a little differently than I usually did. Yesterday, I was calm. I read the question and I read each question only one time, because usually when I'm reading the question in a hurry, I end up going back to the question the second time or the third time, and there I waste time. But if I read calm and I was calm and composed yesterday, and I read the question just once, and I had a clear understanding of what the question was asking. I clicked the answer. I did not have any doubt, and I moved on. So that way I was able to do time management also better.
Nice to know. Nice to know. Very good, Sandra. That's a good motivation. Sandra, for information, we have people from new batch, June.
Yes, okay? I see new names.
They look you as a senior right now.
Yes.
Once you complete the common exam, they may ask you questions. Sandra, can you help me on this? Help me on this. So now they look you as a front runner. Yes. So thanks for those good words from you.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Okay, so welcome all the June batch people here. How many of you June here? Can you put your hands up or emoji up? I know you are here. Okay, a bunch of people. Okay, good bunch of people. First time for the Q&A, and for your information, this Q&A happens every Sunday. This is for any batch people. We converse about the questions what we have taken recently. There could be some questions critical, some questions we don't even understand. Even after discussing, sometimes we won't get the answer, but still okay. The point of this Q&A on Sundays is to bring some clarity, or at least give that a warmness. We have somebody to support you. You should not feel that, oh my God, no one is there. Why we do all this thing? When I did exam year 2016, it was totally blind. Maybe YouTube channel existed. I don't know how to use it those days. So I had to practice on my own. It was a super warm summer time. I was practicing all alone. And I don't even know that am I in the right direction or not, which is more panicking than anything else. You are driving a car, but you don't know, are you reaching Bangalore, Pune or New York? You don't know, you keep driving. It was so tough for me by the time. But once I cleared the exam, I felt that let us keep this knowledge to many people. By the time many YouTube channels came in and things changed the last 5 years. So that is how it started. So the purpose here is to give guidance. So come with your questions, we will converse about it.
Hi, Shri. One question from my side. Should I share my screen or directly read out the question?
Okay, you have to put your hands up. So I know that you have a question. Since you said already, I will see if you are sharing permission. So just information to people here. If you have a question to discuss, you have to put your hands up. So I know that you have a question. And then we'll go screen sharing. So Paurish, you can start with the screen sharing. Let's talk.
Yeah. Let me know once it is visible to you.
Question loaded. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So in this, it has been asked that you are responsible for developing a high-level risk assumption and constraint for your project. You met with experts in your organization and document various risks in the project. However, in reviewing the historical data from previous project, you notice a significant additional risk to your project, one that no one else is aware of. What should you do to continue the project? Okay, so my answer was like, as it was from compared with previous project, it is something related to analogous estimate, because previous history is taken into account, and as it was not been encountered by the team in the current project, so why can't we give it as a make it a low risk instead of giving a high priority? Because even though it will be added during block review and during iteration review, this kind of issues will jump if that risk is critical. So why can't we document it as a low level risk?
Okay, so your ask is this risk should be a low level risk.
Yes.
Okay, what is the question is? In the question, are they seeing the risk from the current project or a past project? From where
No,
they're seeing
previous. In reviewing historical data from a previous project, you notice a significant additional risk to your project.
Significant additional risk to your project, one that no one else is aware of.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice. So, right. So your role is here. What could be your role in this? You could be a project manager.
Yes.
Maybe you are a project manager there. Again, with whom you are discussing this? Is it a team members or SME?
You are responsible for developing a high level risk, assumptions and constraint. You meet with experts, means SME, right? Subject matter expert.
You are with SME. Is this project started or in the very beginning stage?
As it is, reviewing of historical data, you are connected with people. It gives a hint that it is an initiation or planning phase.
Okay.
It is not executed.
If you see the first line, you'll get the clue. Read the first line again. You
are responsible for developing high level risk assumptions and high level.
Where you will do high level in a project?
High level.
Beginning stage of the project.
Yes, beginning.
Very good. So imagine we are sitting in the month of June. There are 4 or 5 people in the room, and you guys are discussing some high level risks for a project. It doesn't talk about there's a predictive, adaptive, nothing is given here. It's a project.
Yeah. Yes.
Any project will have some risk, isn't it? Any project will have risk. Human resource risk will be there, technical risk will be there, budget risk will be there, some risk will be there. But you realize some risk is there in the past record of this similar model of project. Let's take some construction project. There is a highway to be done between 2 cities. And when you are discussing, you look at some of the old record of highway work of some other city. And you realize there is a big risk of something. Maybe Green Tribunal is not approving because of a lot of trees getting cut down. That is one of the risks you're seeing there. And you saw this risk right now. So action is, what should you do to continue the project? The ask is, what I have to do the next step. Okay. Now your answer is document it, but make it as a low level risk. Why you thought it's a low level?
Because, as it was not identified by the experts, number one. And second, during, a backlog refinement, if at all we predict that, this particular
Wait, you're going to backlog refinement. Who said backlog refinement here? Question doesn't say anything.
Yeah, in question there is
nothing.
No one is mentioning. Yes.
I think we're going a little faster. So when you say low level, you're telling either it is not from SME, but it is from your historical record.
Yes.
When it's historical record, is it a risk happened or not happened?
They have mentioned that you notice a significant additional risk to your project. That's the only thing which they have mentioned.
Okay. In a project, when you note down a risk, if that risk happened, then that risk will be in the historical information. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So a risk has happened. Something has happened that is in the record. Here you may not need an SME. You yourself know that something has happened in the last project. Now go to the right answer. Go to with the justification.
Justification. Give me a moment. I need to share the justification.
Boom, 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 boom. So with the way you look at the question, can I guess that you're working in agile environment?
Not really.
Okay.
But I'm reading a lot on agile.
That's why you are so towards agile. Okay. Nice to know. Agile way of thinking.
Yes. And also it has been said that consider every project as a new project. So that also I have read that somewhere. So that also triggered me the fact that, keep it as a low priority.
Maybe you didn't share that screen, your answer screen.
Yeah, I just a second. Give me a moment.
Okay, after this, I have Malar, Sandra, Maulik. 3 people have the questions. So newcomers from the month of June, you all took an exam yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And you got some good scores also there. Some of you got above 11, happily. About 10.
Yes, Shri.
Okay,
Yes.
were you excited when you got that score? 11, 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just bit disappointed also that we can have had a couple of more. Yeah.
People who got less than 5, you got disappointed? Why its score is low? Don't get disappointed or don't get over happy when you get more than 11. This kind of exam when you're taking, it's a jackpot. It's a jackpot. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, no. Which means we have not read the subject clearly and thoroughly. So you're trying it with your basic knowledge. I'll come back to you. Answer A. So what A says here?
As a project manager, you have a responsibility to disclose accurate information to all project stakeholders, honestly.
Okay. You must document it as a high-level risk. Okay. Even though the risk is based on past data, it must be documented because the risk could also be identified from the past data. Documenting it as a low risk would be misleading act. The project manager must not do that. Okay, as a project manager, you have a responsibility to disclose accurate information to all project stakeholders honestly. Project managers must not disseminate false or misleading information. That's a ethical behavior, first 2 sentences. Thus, you must mark the document with a high-level risk. Now, it is a little tricky for you. Now, if you go back to the question, it's a little tricky for you. You don't know whether it is a high or low. But whatever it is, you cannot mark low at this point of time. As I pointed out, a risk which exists in the lessons learned means the risk would have happened. If it has not happened, I would have removed it already. There is something called risk monitoring. We keep check the risk. We identified a risk which will happen in the month of July. When the month of July crossed and that risk does not happen, I'll remove it. Because for that, I have reserved some fund. You agree on that point?
Yeah.
So I have to release that fund. So what I do, I will release that risk, release that fund. So if my past record shows some risk has happened, I would say it's an important risk. How can I mark it as low? But for the high, you have to justify it. High is a qualitative assessment. Now you have to do something called a quantitative assessment. That is why we call as high-level risk. You're marking as a high-level risk, saying that, okay, this risk at a high level, we see it's going to happen because it has happened already. Now let us do some qualitative, quantitative analysis and understand how important this risk is.
Okay.
Got it? Got it. Good. Good question. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Paurish. Then let's get to the next person. Maybe you can stop sharing your screen. I have Sandra.
Hi, Shri. I'll just share my screen.
Yep.
You can see my screen now?
Yes, loaded.
Yeah. So this was from the yesterday's weekly mock. And question 21. Yeah. So you are a project manager for Fly Me to Miami travel services. You need to obtain some services for your project on contract and have published an RFP. You are in the conduct procurement process and know that all of the following statements are true, except for which one. So the first statement says this process is used for obtaining goods and services, whether internal or external to the organization. Several techniques can be used to evaluate the proposals. Vendors may be required to be on qualified seller list to participate in the bid, and bidder conferences are used during this process to answer questions regarding the RFP. So so it says except which one. So not all sellers need to actually be on the qualified seller list. You can have other sellers as well participating in the bid. So hence I chose that. But however, the correct answer here is stating that this process is used for obtaining goods or services, which is actually the purpose of procurement. You are obtaining goods and services.
Very good. Very good. That's a good question. So let me read the last sentence. You are in the conduct procurement process and know that all of the following statements are true, except for which one? Which means one is wrong here.
Yes.
Okay, let me go from the bottom. For the newcomers from June, I have a habit of reading answers from the bottom. D, C, B, A. I know it's a very pathetic logic. If I read from A, B, C, sometimes I settle with answer in B. If I read from D, I read up to A. I know it's not a great logic, but some people say it works. Okay, I'm reading from the bottom. Bidder conferences are used during this process to answer questions. Of course, we call it for a conference. Let's take example of some, project manager fly of Miami Travels. Okay, travel services, they're opening up a bidding. X, Y, Z, 3 companies are participating. Now, when 3 companies participating, I have to conduct something called bidder conference. I have to explain what I need in Miami Travels. Then only they will sign in. Answer C. Vendors may be required to be a qualified seller list to participate in the bid. When they say qualified seller, are you sensing that this could be part of a source selection criteria?
Could be, but not all vendors need to be on the qualified seller. It says qualified seller list to participate in the bid. So anybody can participate. I don't necessarily have to be in the pre-qualified seller list, right?
Right. So when you say there is 2 things are there. One is called selected sellers.
Yeah.
Other one is qualified sellers. When you say selected sellers, already these sellers are selected, pre-selected by the company. Your company will have a list of sellers. For example, in your company, there will be cafeteria. In a cafeteria, through 2 catering service companies will be bidded already.
Okay.
These 2 companies would have been signed a contract with their company. They are called selected sellers. Their list will be already in a company name.
Yes.
So A company will be serving food for 6 months. If they don't do well, we'll go to B company.
Right.
That is selected sellers.
Right.
Now, qualified. In a cricket and football match, we call as qualifier. Out of 32 teams, 8 teams become qualifier. Why they call qualifier? Because they meet certain criteria, so they call qualifier. What this criteria? This criteria is nothing but source selection criteria, which you follow in procurement procedure. The company should have good financial track record. The company should not be blacklisted. The company should not have a trade with the country whom we call as a terrorism happening. Lot more are there. On that list, your company will have, Miami Travels will have a list. Only when you meet those qualifying parameters, then they pick up them. Then only I can invite them for the bidding. It's bidding. It's not just, what you say is right. Anyone can apply. But for bidding, I won't call everyone, isn't it? Bidding means a place where you invite people whom you feel met your criteria.
Right. Yeah.
Let's leave that. Let's go to matrimonial. In matrimonial, many people can apply. Hey, I like you. But only who met the criteria, we invite for a coffee.
Yeah.
At least samosa in India. Okay. So point here is that's qualified here is meeting the criteria. It's not selected.
Okay. Because from what I read from the books, Shri, this was not a criteria from the source. So when I researched on what is source selection criteria, what are the criteria it could have. So like you gave examples earlier, all of those made sense. But for them to be pre-qualified or pre-vetted, that it didn't trigger to me as a qualifier in the source criteria. Yeah.
You see, source selection criteria is a set of bullet points set by the company A or company B.
Okay.
And it's primarily Miami Travels' whole decision to decide whether to choose a person for bidding or not. Bidding is a little close to the stage of selection.
Okay.
I will not call somebody for bidding until I feel they met the basic stuff.
Okay.
Let's take an engineering quota system in India. Engineering students, they have a cutoff. Only somebody met the cutoff, they are called for counseling to choose a college. Is that right?
Yes.
Even though we have thousands of engineers applying, somebody should meet the cutoff.
Okay.
That is called qualified.
Okay. Fine.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, why answer A?
Yeah.
In answer A, if you go to second sentence after comma,
It says
where internal or external to the organization, the Miami is looking for external, not internal.
Yes. Yeah.
In that way, that answer is gone already. It's a wrong one there.
Okay. All right, Shri. Fine.
Got it.
I did look at it that way, but then I thought I'll just check with you. I did see it in that angle. So I'll check. I do have few other.
You're right. What happened is our brain could have been a little triggering between qualified and selected, but you have to be a little careful in exam. If they use a word selected seller, which means Miami company travels already have some selected. Selected is different, qualified is different.
Right.
If you say selected, the bidding happened last year, 2022. And they have already some people in your company in the list. That is a different total list.
Yes.
You have a little careful on exam on this point.
Right. Yeah, I'll keep a note of that. And I was just going through my mock questions to see if there were any points that I was still not sure of. One such question was, I think here it's incorrectly marked as wrong, because this was one of the match the following sort of questions I received. Where the root cause analysis, I mapped it to discovering the underlying causes, brainstorming to come up with ideas or solve problems, and SWOT analysis identified 4 characters of a given situation. And all these 3 have been marked wrong. So I think it's an error.
Prompt list, predetermined list of risk categories that might give rise to individual project risks. That's true. Root cause analysis used to discover the underlying causes that lead to a problem. Makes sense. Brainstorming, meeting to come up with ideas. Yes, makes sense. SWOT identified for, makes sense. All are right.
Yeah. Okay.
Please pass this question. We'll request team to fix it up. Could be a problem, mistake on the side.
All right. Okay. Here. Okay. Which of the following is the best course of action for a development team to maximize the value delivered to the customer? So here, yeah, the answer says split user stories in iteration backlog. So here they're asking in particular with the development team to maximize the value. So we understand that the development team can split the user stories in the iteration backlog. But however, if the question had suggested, if the product owner had to prioritize this to maximize the value, then in that case, answer D would have been correct option, reprioritizing the.
Probably, yes, because product owner has a bigger view.
Right.
When it's a product backlog, it has more set of features to be delivered.
Correct.
When it comes to team level, it is only for that particular week, particular iteration. Correct. They have the scope.
Yeah. So I was just like trying to break it down, because now when I'm reading the question, I'm like looking at all the key terms like development team or product, who's asking for what information.
Makes sense.
That's when I was trying to do.
Makes sense.
All right. Here a company is expanding the project and the project manager is contemplating whether to hire new resources or outsource resources from an approved vendor team. What should the project manager focus on regarding this decision? So the cost of internal resources versus vendor resources. And then you have the organization's resource strengths and skills versus those of those vendor. The correct answer is B. But I was thinking that it should have been A. In the question, it's saying you're contemplating whether to hire a new resource or outsource the new resource. Now, if I'm going with option B, how am I, evaluating or knowing, seeing the resource strength? Because I don't know, I'm hiring that resource. how can I go with the organization's resource strength versus those of the vendor, of the external? I'm anyhow needing to hire a new resource. So I might be the most possible thing. The first thing I might be doing is looking at the cost. Okay, how much is it to hire for the new and for the external resource?
Okay, so you're looking at the cost of it. Well, I'm trying to see the question again. The company is expanding. Let's imagine Infosys want to expand it. They want to expand one unit in Pune from 1,000 resources to 1,500.
Yeah.
And the project manager is contemplating whether to hire new resources or outsource resources. You have two options.
Yes.
For outsource also, you have an approved vendor. You have to watch out that. Because this vendor is already in your company, approved. What should the manager focus on regarding this decision? When you say approved, which means already you're not going to bid for a money.
Yes.
Whenever you say, they'll give you people. Before that, in any process of resource, whether human or material, we will do something called a smart way of looking. When I say smart way of looking, we will first see the strength and weakness, or we call SWOT analysis.
Yes.
What is the strength? What are the skills needed? And from the strength and weakness, we start getting into things, because you have to know what kind of resources you need before even you go for the next level. Definitely cost will play a role. I'm not denying that. But before that, first you have to know that what kind of resource you need.
All right. Okay. Fine.
That is a place I think they're going for the B.
Right. Cool. I just needed little clarity on that to see if I was right or wrong in my way of thinking. Definitely what you just said, even in those angles, I did give a thought, Shri. So I just thought I'll utilize this opportunity before the exams and have that clarity.
Yeah, I understand. Also in the exam, within 1 minute, I don't think you will think all these dimensions.
Correct, definitely.
Now we are talking in a relaxed way. It is possible.
Yeah.
In exam, it is a little nervous.
Right. Here, I needed little clarity because I didn't understand. Due to labor challenges, the construction project Axel is managing got delayed. On the other hand, another project got approved, so he needs to start working as soon as possible. However, Axel is facing a resource allocation issue, so he starts reviewing activities to find which activities can be started late and which cannot. On a network diagram, what kind of activities can have flexibility without causing project delay? So here, all A, C, and D are right. I'm trying to understand why B is wrong. Even having a total float, I don't think so. It will how is it causing a project delay?
Okay, first thing, this kind of question don't expect an exam, because this is totally pulled out. PMI has pulled out the float related topics very heavily. But still, let's see what it is, because you may not know what is called interfering float.
Yeah.
You may not know free float. You may not see independent float.
Yeah.
These floats are new to us. Our total float, we may be aware. Total float is something for the whole network path.
Correct.
Which can impact your project timeline. Right. If you see here, due to labor challenges, the construction project Axel is approved, so you need to start working it as soon as possible. However, Axel is facing a resource allocation issue, so he starts reviewing activities to find which activity can be started late. If I late something, what can be on a network diagram? If I late something, which will delay my critical path, which can, imagine I said 18 months to complete the project. If I delay one activity, it will turn into 19 months. Now, what kind of activities can have the flexibility without causing project delay? When you say total float in a path, you're talking about a critical path here.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So now if you touch a critical path, it has a zero float there.
Total float doesn't have to be only on critical path.
Critical path. Even in a non-critical path, it could be there. The question is, what kind of activity can have the flexibility without causing project delay? What kind of activities can have the flexibility without causing project delay? A non-critical path will have flexibility.
Yeah.
You can add more.
Definitely.
The critical path will not have flexibility. Okay. But are they assuming this as a critical path? Did you see this in
No.
any justification?
No. Activities with free float does not interfering float is defined as time span. The only explanation is saying is that total float is for the path and it's not assigned to any single activity.
Of course, it's for the whole path.
Yeah, but nothing else. Like, it's not providing an answer as to why it would be an activity that could cause delay.
Because could be, maybe after seeing the answer, my brain is even thinking this way. When you see the second sentence, however, Axel is facing a resource allocation issue. So he starts reviewing activities to find which activity can be started later.
Okay.
Not for a whole path. He's looking for one particular activity. In a total float, if I have A, if I have B, if I have C, the whole path will have a float.
Okay.
Not for one particular activity. But still, it is not giving a big trigger for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep this as it is. But what I get a feel is, after seeing the answer, this person is looking for one activity. The answer says, no, total float is not for one activity. It's for the whole path.
Yeah.
But it's not a greatest answer for me. Let's certain answers we have to park it that way.
All right, no problem. And so this also had two conflicting views. So an emergency vaccine rollout program.
Okay, one ask Sandra. You have how many questions more?
I don't have, I think maybe one more. Yeah, just one more after that.
I can sit with you individually because we have few.
All right, no worries. Then I can stop for now and then let others.
We'll see a couple of questions and come back to you again.
All right, sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks a lot. That's Sandra, who is going to examine 36 hours. Is it so?
Yeah. Well, I thought I had a day left when you said in hours. That's
I'll come to you. I'll come back to you if I listen to a few more questions and come back. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So now we have Naveen. Hey, Naveen.
Hi, Shri. I'll just share my screen. I have one question from the mock.
Please go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
You have to share.
Sharing.
Hope you're sharing with me.
Yeah.
Okay. In the bottom, your share button. You have to click a share button. Are you using Mac PC?
No, I'm on mobile. That's why.
Okay. Maybe it's not coming.
Okay. Shall I read through my question? Is it okay, Shri?
Put in the chat box. Okay, you fix it or put in the chat box.
Fine. Done.
Okay, put in the chat box.
Yeah.
Chitra.
Hello, Sri. I will share my screen.
Yeah.
1 second. Is it visible now?
Yep.
Yeah, is it visible now? Screen?
Question yet to come. I can see the screen. Yeah, question is visible.
Okay. Yeah, it is like a client request for a major scope change due to a change in market environment, which will significantly add to the project cost. So this change is approved through the change control process. What should the project manager do to put the project on track? So here what I understood is like client requested a major scope change. So since it is a change request, of course, the client has to bill, right? So
now, before you go there, what should the project manager to do the put on track? So which means something can go out of track or already out of track. Okay.
Yes.
Your information is a client is involving in the scope change. Okay. First of all, are you seeing this as a risk in the project? Is it a risk? Okay, nice. Okay, so what is your answer for this?
So estimate and client should bill. So I selected reevaluate the cost and
Chitra, you have to zoom the picture. You're pretty small. Can you zoom it? Okay, enough. So now you are telling reevaluate the cost management plan to address the impact of the changes. Okay. Okay, what will happen because of this? I think your voice is breaking. I could not hear you well. So the message is you're telling that you want to reevaluate the plan.
Yes, sir.
Address if there is any change on the scope.
Yes,
Okay, with this, the manager can work to bring it on track. That's your thought?
Because it is a change request from client side.
Okay.
Even though it is a risk, but it is like a change request. Change due to change in market environment.
Something changed in the market because of that customers requesting a change. Very good. Nice.
Yes.
So what is the justification saying for this?
Then if it is a risk, we have to use the management reserve.
I think your internet has some trouble. Use the management reserve to account for the schedule uncertainty. Management reserves are a specified amount of project budget withheld for management patrol purpose and are reserved for unforeseen work. So now, first of all, there is something happening, a market environment related changes. We are not sure whether this risk has been identified and they have a reserve for it or not. That's a big question I have. The client requests a major scope change, big change. You're doing something and they're totally asking to change. Major means something major impact is going to happen because of market environment. If they anticipated this, they would have marked it as a risk and there'll be something called contingency reserve. Isn't it? We have some fund allocated already. If this is not identified, then it will become a management reserve, right? Which will significantly add to the project cost. This change is approved through the change control procedure, which means already it's approved. What you're telling here is in answer D, reevaluate the cost management plan to address the impact of the changes.
Yeah, that answer may not be fully correct. My thought is like, I am assuming myself as a vendor project manager. Since the question, it is not mentioned like where the project manager of vendor or a buyer. So I assume myself as a vendor project manager, and I thought like, since it is a change from client side, they should bill for that. I shouldn't use my management reserve for this scope changes. That was my thought.
That's a question. That's question fine. I agree with this point. But when it is approved already for through control procedure, we are telling reevaluate the cost management. Do you think this would have happened before they approve it? It changes. If this change is approved through the change control procedure, which means the requirement change came in, they went through the procedure, they would have accepted it, and the plan would have been re-estimated already, and then only it comes inside. When they say approved, which means it's crossed through. But the question here is why we have to use management reserve. That's a question we have.
Yes.
That question, even I don't get a clear clarity from this point where they didn't mention that it is a unidentified risk or identified risk. Nothing is mentioned here. But when you read the justification, did you got some clue there?
Yeah, from justification, it is that is clear, but I'm like my doubt is why should I spend the management reserve for this? Because it is a danger request.
Okay. Even I'm not getting it very clearly because of the question doesn't have that message, or at least I'm not getting it. But I will not go with the D because the D has happened already. That's why they are here. I will not go with the D, but B doesn't have a big justification in the question.
Yeah, understood, sir. My doubt is clarified.
Yep. Thanks for that. Let's get back to Naveen. Naveen, if you're not good, we'll go to Maulik.
Yeah, hi Shri. Let me
Hey.
share my screen. Okay, so 169 number question. Here I have some fundamental doubt. Actually, from last couple of days, I'm getting confused on it. Let me read the question and answer, and then I'll ask it. So after rescheduling some tasks to account for a member's unplanned absence, the project team inform you that as a result, the critical activity are now occurring at the same time. So there could be some risk. So what should the project manager do first in this case? So the correct answer is go over the newly uncovered risk with the project team. And what I marked was update the risk register and afterwards rank the project risk. Now, actually, a doubt which I have is my understanding was like that for risk as well as for the issue, once it is identified, should we first document it in the risk register or issue log, and then we analyze it, and then we identify the responses, and then we take the action. That should be the course. Or before registering it, before documenting it, we should analyze it and then document it.
Okay, before I say something, have you completed reading risk management chapter?
Yes.
Okay. In this, what they do? What is the difference between risk and issue?
Issue which has already happened. Risk means probability, maybe.
Risk is a future event. It may or may not happen. Issue has happened.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Do we think both has to be recorded?
Yes.
Okay. Risk, when you'll record?
When there is a probability, when it is identified.
It's a very continuous procedure. In a project, we keep on watching out any risk will happen. Right. Tomorrow, day after, next week, we keep on recording those risks.
Right.
Issue is something happened this morning. That also should be recorded. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. In a way, both should be recorded. One is recorded in advance, one is recorded after it happens.
Yes. So my doubt was that once the risk is identified, then
Let's go to the question. Let's go to the question. After rescheduling some task to account for a member's unplanned absence. Rescheduling some tasks to account for members' unplanned absence. Some people are not available for some reason. The project team informs you that as a result, critical activities are now occurring at the same time. Okay, which has to go sequential or getting into parallel. What should the project manager do first in this case? Which means somebody is not there, unplanned absence. You didn't know that this guy will go off. This guy went off. And this activity which you thought to do sequential, getting into parallel. Now, what to do here? Okay, now the answer is saying, go over the newly uncovered risk with the project team. Okay. Update the risk register and afterwards rank the project's risk. Okay. Which one will give you a solution for the problem what you're facing right now?
The solution will be in analyzing the risk. But then actually the doubt which I have is like, should we analyze the risk first and then put it into the risk register, or should we put it into the risk register first as soon as we identify it and then we analyze it?
I think we are worried on the process to follow. But are you understanding the sensitivity of the problem in the question? What is happening in the question? Some unplanned leave has happened.
Okay, I got it. Maybe, okay, in this question, maybe the urgency is more towards analyzing it, that what could happen because of this.
Read the question last sentence.
What should the project manager do first in this case?
First, what you will do first? You never anticipate somebody will go off. Unplanned, somebody went off. Now, are you very interested to follow the process, or are you interested to uncover some of the risk? What all could happen because of this guy not available? because of which some of the work has to get into parallel, are you uncovering any other new risk in that place? And that will help you to again go back and add in the register if you want. Isn't it? First, or you want to understand that what is happening here. Will you sit with your team and understand, hey guys, I heard this kind of things happening, and what all impact could happen because of this? And that probably go to answer C. Maybe A can be a superset and C can be a subset. But you'll record. What you said is right. You will record it. But before recording, first of all, you should discuss about it, right?
Yeah, I got it. So it is not about only this question, but this confusion I was having since last couple of days, that should we record it and then analyze it, or should we analyze it and then record it?
Okay,
or it depends on the situation.
What benefit we'll get out of both scenario?
I think in some questions the answer was like update the risk in risk register and analyze the something was that. So from there I build up that understanding that as soon as we identify first we should document it, and then we analyze it, come up with the risk response plan.
It makes sense, right? Something you have to record it. See, you are not working in a small project. There could be big company, number of people is very high. If we don't record it, very highly we'll miss it. It is always good just to record it. Nothing wrong in it.
Okay, so maybe in this particular situation, we did not go with the same logic, because we want to first go through the risk and then we want to record it.
That's what the question is asking, right? What should the manager do first here? When the situation is happening, what do you do here? Are you interested to open the laptop with the Excel sheet, start typing there? Or you want to talk with the team members what is happening there? And then you record the information of what is needed. Definitely you have to record it, nothing there. But have you uncovered?
Yeah, that I got it. Yes. So, recording will happen. Just the thing is, like, it will depend on situation every time that we will.
Because while you discuss, you may get more defined risk details also to record it. But definitely you have to record it. You cannot deny that. You cannot get away. You should do that. But provided you should get more details on it.
Okay, so there is no hard and fast sequence we need to calculate.
Yes.
First, okay, it depends on the situation. And same thing applies for issue as well, Shri. When the issue is identified.
Yeah, issue is something. Yeah, everything should be recorded. You cannot go out of it. Issue is like which happened just in the morning. Something has happened.
Yes.
In the issue, what will happen is you will rightly find out the people who has to take care of the issue.
Right. So in issue also, the answer, if the options could be that update the issue log, and the other option is that analyze the issue. Then it again depends on the
But Maulik, I'm seeing you are very concerned over process to follow. PMI exam will not be in that model. It used to be there 3 years, 2 years back. Some questions you may get in our practice exam also, but just giving a hint for you. What to be done first, what should not be done, that is not the way. What will make sense, what is valuable, that is what the answer will be. Keep that in mind. Keep this as a second, keep that as a first. So is it making sense? Somebody got an accident. I have to admit this person to hospital. Do I need to fill the form first, or I have to do a first aid first? The answer will be first aid, right? In some movies or things they show, first to fill the form. Okay, so that is not the way PMI expecting these days, last 2-3 years. Before that, they used to expect that first to fill the form. So PMI is moved out of it, but still some of our sample question also will be the old movie format. So you have to be a little careful when you go to main exam. Their expectation is, are you sensible, logical guy?
Okay. So depends on the situation.
Exactly. You have to see the situation carefully.
Okay, good.
Amazing. Great.
I have one more question here. By the way, this is the first mock in which I have seen interactive questions, and I was very happy to see it, like matching the things, and then some graphs were there, and then from there we need to give answer. First time I encountered, and it was very real feel. Just my feedback, it was very good.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, this 83 number question, there is a table given. An agile practitioner saw the following diagram, which was created at the beginning of the project. What is wrong with this diagram? And the answer is each column should only contain 1 mark. And I was understanding each row should have only 1 mark, because schedule cannot be fixed as well as flexible. but the answer is telling that each column should only contain 1 mark. And I was not able to understand the answer, that how it makes sense. Yeah.
An agile practitioner saw the following diagram. Where is the diagram? This box is a diagram.
This box, yes.
Okay, which was created at the beginning of the project. What is wrong with the diagram? Okay, did you draw this diagram in a paper to see what is going to happen? Schedule is fixed. Schedule is fixed and also it's flexible. Both. Cost is fixed. Very good. Scope can be varied. Why schedule is fixed, also flexible? You have a sprint. You have a timeline. You are telling within 3 months you have to complete. For this 3 months, you will give some sort of fixed or flexible cost. Actually, ideally, it should be fixed cost. If you go to Agile project model, they use something called inverted triangle. Have you seen that?
Yes, I remember. The scope is variable, nothing to
time and money will be finalized, whereas the scope will be varied parameter. If I see from that dimension also, they're trying to keep you in a segment. Let's say, I don't think schedule you will mark for a requirement which can be fixed, also flexible, isn't it? Cost could be flexible or fixed. Acceptance could be vary. But the two in the same row, it looks a little tricky. Okay, what this guy is saying?
Each column should only contain 1 mark.
Okay, yes. One, right? For schedule, it will be 1 in fixed, 1 in, that's it, over.
No, but I was thinking 1 column is, for example, flexible. So both the schedule and cost could be flexible. So that is okay, right? It is nothing wrong. I thought 2 things could be flexible.
Okay, rather think that way. See 3 parameters. In a project, you have 3 parameters: schedule, cost, and scope. Now, if you put a diagram for this or you draw it, you will have cost is flexible, scope is acceptable or accepted or variable. Whereas a schedule, where you put it?
For Agile, the schedule should also be fixed.
Very good. Then it also has another parameter called flexible. I know this is not a greatest question, look like a little crazy, but what I feel is you rather seeing by the column, I'm seeing 3 parameters for a project.
Yes, that I got it. So I also tried to see it in that way, that maybe these 3, out of these 3, which one could be flexible and which one could be fixed for Agile.
Yeah. In that case, I'm saying that a schedule, I don't like to keep it in 2 places. Either of one I will choose.
Yeah.
In that way. If not, I would not say that it's an amazing question. But just to give a hint that nothing is finalized here. If you go to predictive model of project, all 3 will be in the fixed stage.
Yes.
Possibly.
Maybe this answer is not making much sense, right? Each column should only contain 1 mark. It is wrong. What is wrong in the diagram?
Yeah, because we have a 2 in a flexible. Maybe that's what they're pointing out. Let me see the last one. The table does not display the relative importance of each dimension. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. All right. I don't think we have to spend too much time on this kind of question. Doesn't make a big sensible question.
Okay. I have one more question if I can ask here. So the project manager is appointed to design and develop a strategy for a government organization. The project manager recognizes that the project has a limited amount of detailed information to prepare project estimates. However, several other government organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. In this scenario, which type of estimating method should the project manager select? So the answer is expert judgment. I was not able to make out how the expert judgment can help in this. I selected analog estimation, having assumption that some previous projects have already been done successfully. So maybe we have some information on the strategy from those projects.
But it is other government, right? It's not yours. The project manager The project manager recognizes that the project has a limited amount of detailed information to the prepared project estimates. However, several other governmental organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. Which strategy? In this scenario, what type of estimation method should be project manager select? Okay. Okay, second sentence says the project manager recognizes that the project has a limited amount of detailed information. Okay. However, several other government organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. Which strategy?
That strategy is not mentioned, but I interpreted maybe some historical useful information could be available, because I started
analogous is you see similar model of project activities which you utilize it. Okay. But they're telling we're using the same strategy. What strategy they're using here? I'm not getting that point. Okay. I will not go with analogous because it is not particularly on any one project model. Even for expert, I don't get a clue where they mean they utilize the previous knowledge. Okay, if I see, I will not go with the parametric. I will not go with analogous. I will not go to 3-point by elimination technique. Only left out is I will see experts. I can invite somebody who can guide me. But the problem here is in the question, last but one sentence says, however, several other government organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. Which strategy? The first line says a project manager is appointed to design and develop a strategy for a government organization. The project manager recognizes that the project has a limited amount of detailed information to prepare project estimates. Very good. I see somewhere something is missing, or I'm not seeing it. Do you see something missing?
Yes, sir. Satendra here.
Yes, Satendra.
Last line is saying that several other organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. So it is in alignment with the first strategy is looking, and the organizations have adopted the same strategy. So it means there is expert judgment which we can take from government organizations which have done the same strategy. The same word is which is a catch here, which I think.
What do you mean by same here? What is same here?
The last line says several other organizations have already successfully adopted the same strategy. And first line is asking a question. A project manager is appointed to design and develop a strategy for a government organization. So when I read the last line and come to first line, it tells me that it has to be something related to experts who has already implemented same kind of strategy.
No, first one is a situation, right? You are appointed for some purpose. That's what they're explaining. First line.
Right.
You are appointed for some reason. That's it. It doesn't have any what strategy, who this guy is, nothing is explained. It says you are appointed to do this. L&T want to come with a tunnel. You're appointed to come with a good tunnel design. That's it. And in the bottom, however, apart from L&T, some other governmental things, they have applied something, same strategy. What same strategy? That's what I couldn't, maybe you are getting it, but I'm not getting that point.
Also, Shri, in the last line, in this scenario, which type of estimating method? So if you talk about estimating method, expert judgment was never considered as a estimating method as such, right?
For your surprise, that's also there.
That's okay.
So many cases, we don't have a clarity of how to do, we'll invite expert. I am fine because of the second sentence says, limited amount of information is available. Yeah, we may go for experts in the market. But where this guy confused me is the last sentence only confused me. Okay. Anyway, my brain is not triggering something.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe we can make peace with the question. Understanding that maybe these first three we can eliminate. Analog estimation, the explanation could be that it may not be the same.
Elimination, you will go for this answer, but Maybe our Satinder sees a point through his eyes. If I see, maybe I'm getting something. At
Okay,
present, at
maybe
least for me, I'm getting it.
what I understood is he mean to say is that some people have already done this kind of project in other government organizations, so maybe we can use them as an expert, something like that.
Could be. I know it's over imagination only I can do here. I couldn't get a clarity. Anyway,
But
by
elimination,
elimination,
elimination puts the thing correct because ABC does not stand because there is no point there.
yeah, that won't work here.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks a lot. That's Maulik. Naveen, any luck?
Yes, Sri, maybe I'll try to share now. If it does not work, so I'll come next.
You can copy paste in the chat box also.
Yeah, I tried, but the JPG is not working for me here. It says no permission.
Okay, is it an Apple phone?
No, it's a normal Android one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not, try reading the question. We will see if we can observe you. Then.
Is it fine now? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible, loaded.
Just a second. Then yeah. So basically, can you see the screen?
Yeah,
now?
it's visible. It's loaded.
Yeah.
I think we lost you. You there? Am I audible to people here?
Yes, Shri, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay, let's read the question. Organizations are structured on a spectrum ranging from highly projectized to matrixed to highly functionalized. Okay. Projects within which of the following organizational structures are more likely to find general resistance to collaboration? Okay. Resistance to collaboration. Very good. Okay, what's the answer? Anyone here want to comment? Where you'll find resistance to collaboration? See, highly functionalized structure. So people don't collaborate there. Highly collaboration, where it will happen?
Projectized structures.
Projectized or matrix? Matrix could be mixed up both, right?
Okay.
Matrix structure.
Matrix could be mixed up both the projectized and function. Okay. Naveen, what's the answer from you?
No, basically, I selected D because I was.
Now they use the word matrix, right? You are in a general central stage now. Highly projectized, matrixed, and high. When you say weak, what happens is project manager has a less power. It talks about power, not on collaboration.
Okay.
When you say collaboration, you have to go. Okay, answer. What is the right answer?
C.
Okay, so it goes functional, right? So here we're looking for organization structure, not in between who has a power, who has a less power. If that question comes, yeah, you have to use weak, power, or strong.
Yeah. Understood. Thank you. Yeah.
What is the answer? Right. What is the answer? I didn't heard.
C. Okay, let's take a couple of questions, Sandra, before we close the session. Sandra, you have a question?
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. Several teams remain in the Kanban blocked column despite the team's effort. Is my screen sharing?
Not it.
Okay. Yeah.
Loaded? Yep.
All right. Several items remain in the Kanban blocked column despite the team's effort to resolve the issues. The retrospectives reveal that all of the impediments relate to mandatory corporate business process, which introduce wait times. What should the project manager do next? Here, the right answer is said, work with the process owners to streamline the procedures and secure the team coaching on the process. But I, as a project manager, yeah, I think B could have been a better answer because they can dedicate the next iteration to the team training on business processes to help them work more autonomously. Now, the reason why I thought that way is because here they're saying the impediments relate to a mandatory corporate business process. So, the understanding is that those processes are already mandatory. And me as a servant leader, I can't, even if I work with the process owners, I won't be able to streamline any procedures where it's already saying it is mandatory. And hence the best approach I can do is probably work, help my team and coach them so that they can make decisions on their own, and that way it can reduce that wait time. I feel B could have been a better answer here.
Okay. Do you have you seen the Kanban board, how it's used? Okay. Are they using iterative way or it is going in the flow based?
Flow.
Okay. Which means you use it for ticketing, you use it for some teams which
Okay.
what
All right.
need to
But even the C answer, then I don't think so. Is like maybe I understood. I saw where you're getting actually, but
what will happen is you have something called work in process. The work in process limit, let's say I kept it as a 4, but my work in process limit is 4. Work is not getting moved forward, stuck there. Now let me see the answer. Work with the process owners to streamline procedures and secure the team coaching on the processes. That is a little hitting me. Why team coaching on the processes? Maybe the process related to the work.
Could be. For me, the question was if it just said corporate business process, I would have gone with option C with no doubt. But it said mandatory, and hence it was restricting me from choosing. How can I go to my organization and say something that's mandatory? How can I go and make it more streamlined when it's already they're saying it's mandatory?
Let's put like this. In your company, if somebody has to use a particular software, they have to complete the compliance training program. Only when you complete the compliance training program, you're allowed to open that software because it has sensitive information of your company.
Correct.
Now, that particular work item is pending in your Kanban board. It's a mandatory corporate business process your team has to follow.
Yes.
And your team is not doing it. Now, you're doing work with the process owners to streamline the procedures. You're going to streamline the procedure with them. How to make this a compliance training program accessible by the team members as early as possible, and also coach them how important that process you have to go through. I took an example of compliance training. Compliance training is there, but many people are not taking the training at all because they're not aware where it is. They don't get an access for it. Something is blocking them. So because of which the work is not moving. Only when they complete the compliance training, they can go to next level.
Okay.
Yeah. Just give a second. I'm getting a call now.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Hey, yes, let's go.
Yeah, just moving on to the next question. Here, project has the following characteristics. Scheduled perform issues occur due to low expertise level of project resources. Junior level resources are not completing tasks promptly. Highly experienced resources report that their junior colleagues are performing unnecessary tasks. In what two ways can the project manager enhance the performance of this team? So definitely went with answer C, work collaboratively with the team to design training and a checklist for task completion aligned with project goals. And it says the correct answer is also D, design a checklist for all the team members. Here I've already done the checklist in option C. I've already designed, it's done. So I don't know why again D was given as an exclusive option. And I think probably E also I could have gone. If not D, I would have done E, set up mentoring sessions with the team so that the experienced resource can coach the junior resources and work collaboratively.
Schedule, I'm reading the question. Schedule performance issues occur due to low expertise level of project resources. They are not expertise. Junior level resources are not completing tasks promptly. Highly experienced resources report that their junior colleagues are performing unnecessary tasks. They are doing unnecessary work, not doing a prioritized work. In what two ways can the project manager enhance the performance of this team? Work collaboratively with the team member to design a training and a checklist for task completion aligned with the project goals. Task completion aligned with the project goals. Okay. Designing a checklist for all team members. Why it is so blank there? Okay. What does the justification says?
The project manager should attempt to resolve issues using the tools and techniques available to them before changing the plan or escalating the issue. Providing training to those who need it will improve the team performance, and implementing a checklist ensures each team member is checking only what needs to be checked.
Both are different checklists. I can sense that.
Yeah.
See, first checklist is about what work to do because of there is a complaint from senior guys.
Okay.
The team is doing unnecessary task. In order to avoid an unnecessary task, you are doing something called checklist of guys, let's do task 3, 7, 10. That is there.
Yeah.
That is clear. The next one is designing a checklist for all team members, which is trying to capture. Okay, let's park this. Let's see the other answers. A. Meet with the team leader to discuss the situation, decide if escalation to the project sponsor is necessary. No, ruled out. B. Implement a whole team training program. A whole team is always a failure. Okay, B gone. Let's go down. E. Set up mentoring sessions within the team so that the experienced resources can coach a junior resource and work collaboratively. Set up a mentoring sessions within the team so that the experienced resources can coach a junior resource and work collaboratively. This also looks very convincing one. Why not E? E is not the answer?
No, it's not the answer. So for me, I personally, if I had to choose, I would go with C. And E also makes sense. I'm not denying, but E is more convincing a little more, I feel.
Checklist for all team members. What kind of checklist is that?
Like you said, the answer, it's not the best option. It's not complete. It's not giving me a full convincing answer. But let's say a checklist of the things that they need to look at, the task in hand. Maybe if that is what they're looking at.
Okay, but look like micromanaging them, which I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Which is I'm going to chase them till morning, evening, what they're doing.
Yeah.
That is kind of micromanagement, right? Junior level resources are not completing tasks promptly. Not completing promptly. Are you going to trace that? Highly experienced resources report that the junior colleagues are performing unnecessary. For unnecessary task only, we got that answer C.
Yeah.
That is clear. Enhance the performance of this team. Checklist for all team members. No, it's not triggering for me. D is not triggering. I'm not happy really for D right now. I will go with C and E.
Yeah.
Let me see the question also later point. You can pass this question.
Even for me, I wanted E as the better option, but in the exam, C and D were chosen as the right answer. So I was not convinced with that when I was going through, but at least to get my mindset clear is why I thought I'll bring this up.
Got it. I recognize that. recognize it. All right, good. Good
Yeah.
questions. Good discussion. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's it. Oh, you have more?
No, not done. If that is okay. See, just
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah. So here, an emergency vaccine rollout project should be deployed to vaccination centers as soon as confirmed locations are booked. Factors such as delayed batch shipments, safety protocols, and target age groups may block the deployment at the last minute. However, the deployment process does not vary after passing the toll gate to begin setup at a new location. Which project approach would best support the goal to maximize the number of centers deployed? Now, the correct answer per the exam that I took was selected as a set of predictive deployment sequence embedded in a set of agile process. But while I feel that answer B would be a better choice, you need to have an agile deployment iterations embedded in a predictive set of processes, because here they're saying that the deployment will have a lot of changes. It's talking about the complexity of the complexities involved in the deployment. And hence, I think B might be the better answer. Just wanted to check how you are.
Go to the question again. Click the question. Yeah. An emergency vaccine rollout project should be deployed on vaccination centers as soon as confirmed locations are booked. Let's take COVID medicines distribution. Okay, central government want to distribute it. Factors such as delayed batch shipment, safety protocols, and target age groups may block the deployment at the last minute, which is possible. However, the deployment process does not vary after passing the toll gate to begin setup at a new location, which means the deployment process will not vary. It's a standard, predictive. You can predict it. You can predict the deployment process.
But here it's saying there will be few activities that will block the deployment.
Could possible. However, when the deployment process does not vary after passing the toll gate to begin setup at a new location. Which project approach would best support the goal to maximize the number of centers deployed? Which project approach supports the goal to maximize number of centers deployed? Let's imagine a city or a state where they want to give the COVID medicine. Now, there is a two process in this. One is a deployment process. Other one is each centers. Okay, what is the answer saying? A set of a predictive deployment sequence embedded in a set of agile process. Okay. Usually for the big thing, we use predictive, and small execution at the center level, they use agile. Okay, let's see justification. A predictive approach within agile process is correct because a deployment follow an unchanging sequence. Maximum deployments would require handling as many parallel deployments as possible, given a set of changing conditions proceeded in an agile way. Okay, where you are getting confused, or we are getting confused, is in the question. In the question, if you click the question, in the question it says factors such as a delayed batch shipment, safety protocol, a target age group may block the deployment at the last minute. Okay. Delayed shipment. However, the deployment process does not vary after passing the toll gate to begin setup at a new location. Okay. So now why you thought predictive will not work in this first stage?
Initially, frankly speaking, first my answer was this. Then the second time I read the question and saw that there are complexities in the deployment, and that made me change the answer.
Okay. Okay. But you feel that they are able to predict and plan the procedures? If you see the beginning, an emergency vaccine rollout project should be deployed to vaccination centers as soon as confirmed locations are booked. In a city like Pune, now they have 12 centers where they have to deploy or share the vaccines of COVID. Okay. Factors such as delayed batch shipment. Shipment does not reach the main center. Or some of the safety protocol to be followed by the guys who carry the medicine.
Right.
on which age group should medicine go. These are the information or things which could delay, which has some risk. Any project will have risk. You cannot say no for it. However, the deployment process does not vary after passing the toll gate. Right? So you could predict until it reaches the stage of crossing to your minimal center. I mean the local centers in Pune.
Yeah. So until the setup to the new location, probably we can go with the predictive approach.
Predictive.
And
there
whatever
it turns
factors,
into
and whatever factors that might affect post the deployment onwards, then we choose an agile. Okay.
Once you go to the center, in center you may get blockers and complications that you have to address in an iterative way.
Right. Yeah.
At least I'm seeing that direction. But still, it's an interesting question. Makes you to think.
Yes. So initially it didn't make me think. So when I was taking a second look at all my mock exam questions, I found some interesting questions like this, which I thought I can bring up for discussion this week.
Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Shri.
Good, Sandra. Do well.
Yeah.
And probably tomorrow we'll connect over the call.
Definitely. Sure, Shri. We'll do that.
Good. Thanks all for the listeners watching here. I know some of you from the new June batch. Appreciate your energy. And what I'd expect people is next time when you come for the classes, bring such kind of questions where we converse. That will help us to get more detail on some subject. Certain questions you get answers, some you don't get answered, but at least we'll converse. Thanks all for the participation. We'll connect again in the other session. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Shri.
Thank you.
Thanks.